how do you mentally survive the gap from starting your business to when you start getting that gratification, meaning sales and momentum? There's always at least a couple months and sometimes a couple years of that gap to bridge of, needing to put in all this work and seeing the results. Now let's talk about some of the kind of mechanisms you can use to get over that or to help with that. One of those is making short-term goals. So you always want to have long-term goals, but having short-term goals as well is going to allow you to feel like more is being accomplished, even though you might not be at the point where you're seeing the results of those accomplishments. But having those shorter term goals that you can check off on a daily or weekly or monthly basis, preferably daily or weekly, is going to allow you to get more in the mind state of, yes, even though the money's not showing up yet or the business isn't where I want it to be yet, I am making the progress that I'm trying to make. Now, I will say something that's very powerful, and a lot of successful entrepreneurs talk about this, is writing down your goals. But the short term goals I feel are very important. These are like weekly goals. And when you get down to that weekly goal, I think it's very important to have a box to check off by that goal. There's something about having it written down, and then there's also something about checking a box next to it. There's something about checking off that box that is inspirational, even if it's subconscious, to where, yes, you might have things written down to do or goals, and you might even accomplish some of them, but there's literally a intrinsic value of checking off the box, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. You're showing yourself that little bit of gratification. It's almost like that little hit of dopamine that they say we get from people liking and commenting on our social media pages. It's somewhat like that of, hey, I accomplished something that I was supposed to accomplish and checked it off, and I'm on to the next one. So I think one way to give yourself a little bit more instant gratification while you're in that gap of waiting for the delayed gratification of sales and revenue and growth, I think setting up smaller short-term goals, even, weekly or daily, that you can actually accomplish consistently and check off and feel like you're moving forward.